All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our NBA video here today. For Monday, June 7th, my name is Brock Page and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. If you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally here today, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now guys, we are currently 5-0 in our last 5 NBA tier package picks on my Patreon website. We've been red hot in that particular membership. And the good news is we have another NBA tier package pick going off here this evening. We currently have over 1,000 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that page is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. With that, guys, let's go ahead and get started. The Bucks take on the Nets, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, Brooklyn's up 1-0 in this series. They're also the 1-point favorite on their home court here this evening. Total's 234, juice to the over. Now, the Bucks are the -105 underdog on the money line. And despite a massive overreaction to the absence of Brooklyn's James Harden here tonight, we're still looking at a Milwaukee club who hasn't been all too good against the point spread here recently. Milwaukee failed to cover the number in 6 out of their last 10 ball games. They've been fairly lackluster against the number when they travel. Now, out of Milwaukee's 39 games away from home this season, they successfully covered the point spread just 16 times. And that's good for only 41% in that particular category. I also think the Brooklyn Nets are better built for a track meet in this series. The Bucks are currently in the bottom 10 in the NBA in points allowed. And they're also letting their opponents make 40% of their three-pointers away from home. This Milwaukee team also tends to break down defensively late in games. They're dead last in the NBA in third quarter points allowed on the road. Bottom 5 in fourth quarter points allowed as well. Now they're taking on a Brooklyn club who leads the NBA in offensive field goal percentage. These guys are making nearly 50% of their field goals for the entire year. They've also been very good at the Barclays Center this season. They're 32-8 straight up on their home court. Top 3 in the game in shooting the 3-ball. And despite the absence of James Harden here this evening, I mentioned that just a few moments ago, but regardless of that, the Nets are still being led by Kevin Durant, who's dropping 32 points a game in this postseason, along with 7 rebounds and 3 assists. Now, KD's averaging nearly 9 free throws per contest in the playoffs, and he's drilling over 92% of them. KD's also draining 47% of his three-pointers in this postseason as well. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving's getting nearly 25 points a night in the playoffs himself. 6 boards, 3 assists for Kyrie. Once again, despite the absence of James Harden here tonight, Joe Harris is making over 52% of his three-pointers for the Nets in the playoffs. Look for him to kind of, take Harden's share of the three-pointers here tonight. And Harris is already averaging 7 3-point attempts a night. So really, if you think about it, you could actually, be putting the ball in the hands of a hotter hand shooting more 3-balls here this evening. So it actually could potentially play out even better for Brooklyn. And of course, if Brooklyn's defensive play is something that concerns you here tonight, just keep in mind the Nets are in the top 3 in defensive field goal percentage at home, top 10 in defending the 3-ball at home as well. Now, Brooklyn's last 2 straight when it comes to the total in this one actually fell under the posted number. 5-4 to the under in their last 9, throwing out Game 6 of the Boston series. Meanwhile, Milwaukee saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under the total themselves. 5-4 to the under in their last 9. I'm going to lean toward the Brooklyn Nets -1 and the under 234. And with that, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup of the show. For some reason, the Xfinity app doesn't have it listed here today. I'm sure I can find one. There it is. But it's not on Wednesday. I'm actually talking about today's game, and that's going to be the Nuggets versus the Suns. 10 o'clock Eastern tip-off in the desert. The Phoenix Suns are -4.5. Totals 220. And if you like the Nuggets in a Game 1 upset on the road here, They're plus $1.70 for some money line cash. Now the Nuggets have done a real nice job covering the point spread here recently. Denver's 4-1 against the number in their last 5 ball games. 6-3 against the spread in their last 9. Now the Nuggets pretty much do everything really well. They're in the top 3 in offensive field goal percentage on the road. Top 3 in defensive rebounding as well. Nikola Jokic is averaging 33 points a game in the postseason. 10.5 boards and 4 assists for the Joker. Really just dominant in the playoffs here. Jokic is also drilling 92% of his free throws, and he's making 43% of his three-pointers in these playoffs as well. Meanwhile, Michael Porter Jr. is averaging over 18.5 points a night in the playoffs himself, along with 6 rebounds. Now, Denver averages 116 points a night. Meanwhile, defensively, they're in the top 10 in the association in points allowed on the road. They're taking on a Phoenix club who really, I think, is going to get out-rebounded on the offensive end of the court here this evening. While Denver is amongst the league leaders in defensive rebounding, the Suns are currently in the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding for the entire season. Not a good formula for Suns fans, Suns backers. Phoenix has also struggled against the number here recently, going just 4-5 against the spread in their last 9, throwing out Game 1 of the Lakers series. And most concerning, I'll tell you what, the Suns just haven't played Denver all too well in recent meetings. Out of Phoenix's last 10 head-to-head contests with the Nuggets, they got the W just twice, just 2 times. Now, the Suns are currently ranking in the bottom half of the league in fourth quarter scoring as well. Meanwhile, when it comes to the total, oddly enough, 7 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head meetings did get over the number. Phoenix is 22-17 to the over on their home court this season, 44-34 to the over for the entire year. Meanwhile, the Nuggets saw their last 2 straight get over the line themselves, 6-1 to the over in their last 7. I'm going to lean toward the Denver Nuggets plus 4.5 in the over 220. With that, guys, we're going to jump into our very quick pick recap, powered to you by my Patreon website. I like Brooklyn -1, under 234. I like the Denver Nuggets plus 4.5 in the over 220. And one final reminder here, guys, that we are 5-0 in our last 5 NBA tier package picks on my Patreon website. And the good news is we have another NBA tier package pick going off here this evening. Link for that pick is in the description section below. And guys, if you found yourself really enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you're new here today or this week, please feel free to welcome yourself to the Brock Page family by hitting that subscribe button as well. It's a great sports betting community. I'd love to connect with you on a daily basis. And speaking of that, I'm going to jump into some shout outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of days or so. Shout out to Justin Sims, Maurice Drummer, Danny Kaprowski, Michael Williams, Jeff Roblo from Shreveport, Louisiana. Shout out to Blaine Medvick, Marlon Dotson, Gary DeStefano, Joey Dolan, and last but certainly not least, gotta give a shout out to my man, Mike Jones. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. Now, guys, if you end up deciding to get a package here today on my Patreon website, just keep in mind, Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a package here today, you're going to get access to that content all the way through the end of June. So certainly good value signing up for a membership early in the month. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.